Miss Harney, can we please pull up Government Exhibit 15? Mr. Morton, remind us. Who is this? That's Old Dog. How did you first meet Old Dog? I first met Old Dog from show. When you first met Old Dog, was he a member of any gang? Yes. What gang? He was Bloodhounds. Did he have status in Bloodhounds? At the time that I met him, I don't believe so. Do you remember when you first met Old Dog? It would have to been between 2008 and 2011. Did you ever see Old Dog with drugs? Yes. What were the circumstances? I was giving him drugs to sell for me. What do you mean for you? Yeah, so I was selling heroin at the time and he was selling heroin. And you know, he asked for some work. I gave it to him. And in turn, he gave me my money back. I heard you say the word work. What do you mean? Okay, so work would be like the pack or the drugs that I give him. That's what we call work. So he would be like, yo, let me get some work. And I'd be like, all right. And let's say I gave him $200 worth of heroin. And he would give me $100 back. And what would he do with the heroin? He would sell it. Where was he selling it? At the time, he was selling it on 125th Street in Manhattan. Did there come a time when you and Old Dog had a conversation about the direction of the gang? Yes. Where did that conversation take place? That conversation took place right on 125th Street in front of the old Pathmark. Me, Old Dog, and Tisha was there. Remind us, who is Tisha? She was the GM at the time. Other than being the GM, did Tisha have a relationship with Showtime? Yes. What was that relationship? That was his girlfriend. Did you know that at the time? No. Who did you think Tisha's boyfriend was? Brim. Can you please pull up for the witness, Miss Harney, Government Exhibit 708I? Do you recognize that? Yes. What is it? That's a picture of Don B., Tisha, and Showtime. Your Honor, the government offers 708I. Any objection? No objection. 708 is received. Can you describe who's in this picture? That's Don P. with the chain on and the blazer. And Tisha has the black dress on. And Showtime has like a black silky shirt. And what about the other woman? Do you know her? No, I do not. We can take that down. Time frame for the photo? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Time frame for the photo. Oh, we can put it back up. Can you please put it back up, Miss Harney? Can you turn to page 2 of this exhibit? Mr. Morton, can you read the date where it says uploaded? 09/11/20. Mr. Morton, that day on 125th Street, what in substance did Old Dog say to you and Tisha? He was upset because he was like, why Show got a GF spot already and he just came to the hood. He just got here and he was upset about that and he didn't feel he deserved that. Do you have any sense of when that conversation took place on 125th Street with Old Dog? I do not, Your Honor. Mr. Morton, was it close in time to when GF had gotten the spot? Showtime came in with the GF spot. So this would have had to been around, 07 to 11. But around the time that Old Dog had came home, I don't know if he was just locked up, or out of town, but he had just came around. It was around the time that he came home? I believe so. I'm not sure. Not quite sure. How did you respond to Old Dog that day? I was just like looking at him funny. I didn't really say too much. I knew that he was doing something that he wasn't supposed to be doing. After that, did you have a conversation with Showtime about what Old Dog said? Yes, I did. What did Showtime say to you in that conversation? He was mad at me. He was like, "You supposed to be my right hand. N-word, talk about me." So he was really upset about it. Is there a name within the Bloodhound Brims for what Old Dog had done? Yes. What is that name? Backbiting. And what does backbiting mean? That's when you talk about somebody when they ain't around. Did you and Showtime have a second conversation about Old Dog's backbiting? Yes. When was that? Around the same time that he was upset about it? Right, but how many days, weeks, or months later? Maybe like a couple of weeks or a week. What did Showtime say to you in that conversation? That he wanted to take old dog for out to dinner? What does that mean? Take him out to dinner. That means take him out and kill him. Did you agree? Yes. So, how did that come about? So, one day me and Show was together, and he said that he wanted to tell old dog that old dog wanted to rob some guy. I can't remember the guy's name right now, but Show told me to tell him that the guy he wanted to rob, we was going to go rob him. So that's how we lured him downstairs to the car. And then once he got in the car, we started driving. So we ended up back in Westchester somewhere. Let me pause you. Who was in the car? Me, Show, and one of Show's friends was in the car. And old dog? And old dog. Where were you sitting in the car? I was driving. Where was Show sitting? Show was in the passenger seat. Old dog was right behind me, and Showtime's friend was in the back of Show. You said we lured him downstairs. Who are you talking about? We lured old dog downstairs. Okay, and you said you drove to Westchester County. Is that right? Yes. Why did you go there? It was no specific reason. We just jumped on the highway and that's where we ended up. Did you eventually stop driving? Yes. Where were you when you stopped driving? We was like on some type of hill. It was a little dark out, so we was on the hill. And there are a lot of trees around. What happened? So we got out. I opened the door for him. For who? For old dog. And I told him to get out. And I felt like he knew what was getting ready to happen. So when he got out, he backed up a little bit. And when he backed up a little bit, I shot him. How many times did you shoot him? About 4. 4 times. What kind of gun did you have that day? I think it was like a .45. How far away were you from old dog when you shot him? Maybe about 5 feet, maybe. When you shot him, were you trying to kill him? Yes. What did Showtime do? When old dog fell, he was yelling a little bit. Who? Old dog. When he fell, he was yelling. Show ran around and tried to take the gun from me to, I guess to shoot him again. But there wasn't no more bullets in there. So I was like, yo, it ain't no more bullets. So we got back in the car and we pulled off. Who got back in the car? Me and Show. At the time that you drove off, did you think that old dog would survive that shooting? No. Did you learn later whether he did? Yes. How did you learn that? I believe somebody told me. I don't know if it was Show. Somebody told me that, that he was alive. And I can't remember who it was, but I ended up getting a number to where he was at. Did you call old dog? Yes, I did. What, if anything, did you say to him on that call? I just told him. I was like, so when I called, he started getting like a little hyped up. So I was just like, yo, just cool. I was just like, I wanted to tell you, God bless you. You made it through that. So just keep it regular. Like, keep it easy. What did you mean by keep it regular? Like, don't tell. Don't tell who? The police. Why did you call old dog that day? That was one reason. Just to tell him, not to tell. And the other one was to, let him know that I was like happy that he didn't die. Did you later learn that old dog had told? Yes. How did you learn that? Okay, so I ended up getting locked up for some drugs. And they gave me a bail, so I bailed out. But when I bailed out, the judge told me that I had to come back to court the next day. So the next day when I came back and was going to the courtroom, the warden squad just locked me up. They put cuffs on me and they took me out to 109 St. Queens. Do you know the year approximately of this? I would say between 2009 and 2010. And from the time that you shot old dog to the time that you got locked up, how much time had passed between those two events? Excuse me? When you said you got locked up, how much time had passed from when you shot old dog? Oh, maybe like a few months, maybe. All right. Did you speak to the police when they arrested you? Yes, I did. Were you truthful in that conversation? No, I wasn't. How so? I told them that I didn't shoot him and I didn't know what they was talking about. Were you charged for that shooting? No, they ended up letting me go. Did you have an understanding of why they let you go? Yes. Objection. Sustained.